partners. Welcome to the Haunted Chronicles, episode 121. If you missed last week's show with Sherilyn Carter, it's available on the on-demand section on ParaManiaRadio.com. Tonight's guest is Andrea Mesich, an author and paranormal investigator who just caught a Pikachu in the Haunted Chronicles green room and will join us shortly. Tonight's episode is brought to you by An Evening with Annabelle. This includes a lecture, case files, banquet dinner, a viewing of haunted objects from the Warrens Occult Museum, including Annabelle. There will be a special tribute to Ed Warren, and you will hear the actual voices that spoke to Ed Warren in the Enfield poltergeist case that became The Conjuring 2. This event will be on September 10th, and visit warrens.net for ticket info, and I'm going to be a special feature also added to that banquet of festivities. So, yeah, we'll break down the doors for that one. I am Mr. Haunted, joined by Brock Diglett Burrows and Jennifer Jigglypoof Runyon.
Jigglypoof. Okay, Mr. Special Feature.
I'm stepping back on that one.
Jigglypoof. Now, what were you called again? You were a diggly dog?
I don't know.
Diglett.
I'm a Diglett.
You're Diglett. It's always entertaining every week. Always.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a box of chocolates, kind of.
Yeah. You just never know what you're going to get.
I'd like to make this is totally off the script here. I want to go off the record and do a confession that when you used to get those little Whitman samplers when you were like a kid, your family would get them for holidays.
Oh, yes.
And like half of them sucked really bad.
Yes.
So you'd used to stick your thumb in the chocolates to see if it was a mushy one and then just put it underneath so nobody saw. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. I was with you on that. I would, if it was really hard, then I knew it would be caramel. I don't know how you say it. And that's what I wanted. So I was you. I'd stick my finger in, and then everyone would be, Jennifer, you stuck your fingers in the Whitmans. Yeah, I did it too.
The Whitmans.
You're the Whitman. It's so wrong.
And then the middle one has a little gentleman carrying the box.
Yeah.
The middle chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, my. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, what a week, huh, fellas?
Oh,
yes.
What a week.
So how have you been, Jennifer?
Oh, well, I've been good. I've been, good. You know, it's been besides all the insanity, you know, this is Ghostbusters week, apparently. And so that's been kind of going nonstop on my feeds, you know. That's today, I guess, the movie's opening. So that's been like the most exciting thing. Every time I look on my computer or on one of my social media things says everything's Ghostbusters, I'm getting a little sick of it.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, you, Brock?
I can imagine. It's been pretty good. Everything's going smoothly. My boss is gone for 2 weeks, so it's like party time in the office.
Oh yeah.
But I started watching a TV show, and y'all are gonna think I'm crazy for not having seen it before. But the American Horror Story. I'm on the first season, and that is it's so addicting, but it's so weird.
Are you in the asylum?
Yes. The house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, the house.
That was creepy. And you know what? The asylum is creepy. I think the witches was fun, not as creepy. But then the creep show one, the freak show. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
I couldn't get over. I couldn't get over the maid. How she would look one way for the guys, and for the women look her age. You know what she would be.
Yeah, she could transform herself. She could morph.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's pretty
What's
crazy.
the name of that little character in the last one, in the circus one that died in real life?
Oh, yes.
Like Peep or something?
It was Meep.
Oh.
Meep. M-E-E-P. Meep died.
Bless Meep's little heart.
I know. Meep was so cute. Well, in a strange way. Okay, you'll see. you kind of at first are like, oh my God. And then you fall in love with these freaks. It's like awesome. So.
Yes.
Mr. Special Feature, how are you?
I'm a special feature.
You are.
I have a little story this week, in case anyone was following my raccoon story for the last couple weeks. Little Davy Crockett would come to my door every day looking for food. And so, the other day, breaking news. We had a wildlife expert come over, and obviously he was sick or something. So she took little Davy Crockett with her, and she's going to rehabilitate him, and I'll get to go visit him. And I deleted one of my videos because everybody was, putting their 2 cents in on what I should do and stuff. And one person said that it would scratch my eye out. So I just want everyone to know, if that happened, I wouldn't want a glass eye or an eye patch. I want to install like a magic 8-ball in my eye socket, and then so you come up to me and ask will I get married soon, and shake my head, and it'll say try again,
Jimmy,
or something or whatever.
Jimmy, will I have success in my next adventure? And then you shake your head really hard, and then we just stare at your eyeball.
The outlook is good.
Well, that's better than a marble.
So I just want to put that. Yeah, I want to put that on the record. That's what I would want. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
That's funny. So I like that.
That would be actually that would be a really kind of fun little gadget if they made them that little, right? Could you imagine having a little miniature 8-ball? That'd be fun.
It would be a good icebreaker in any situation.
Oh yeah, like if you're having a bad conversation, hey, ask my. That would be cute.
Well, I think it's funny. Yeah, the funny visuals, like people shaking my head, looking for answers.
That would be funny.
So if you're wondering, if anybody's wondering how I'm doing, I'm happier than a 4-week-old baby raccoon eating Captain Crunch and Crunch berries with a clementine while sitting on the deck like he's frickin' Napoleon Bonaparte or something.
I'll never forget laughing so hard when he fell off the deck. I know that's so wrong, but
poor little Davy, man.
Poor Davy. And then when he was eating the taco, that was my other favorite. I'm like, he's eating a freaking taco. What are you giving him? It was
little
so cute.
Face disappearing from view.
And then when he growled at you,
yeah. But that was his way of saying hi, I realized.
I think so. Yeah.
Hey there. Give me some crunch berries.
I need more taco.
So we have a guest tonight, and if she's there, I want to bring her in so she could participate in Scary Movie Celebrity Birthdays. Mm-hmm. Our guest tonight is paranormal investigator and author of the book Ghost in the Coal Cellar, Andrea Mesich. Andrea.
Hi.
Hey.
And I have some friends with me. Say hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, ladies.
Yeah, we're doing a ghost tour tonight. We're actually in a haunted location as we speak.
Oh, good. We're going to check in with them every so often now.
You're going to have an interesting night.
Yeah.
This show always produces stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
And who just joined us in chat room? My friend Rob.
Hi,
Rob.
Rob, say hi to Rob.
Hey, Rob.
He's under a secret pseudonym.
Oh, okay.
Pseudonym's a real word or not, is it? Anyways, Andrea, what we do each week is I try to collect some people that are celebrating a birthday this week that appeared in some scary movie, and you guess their age.
Okay, ladies, you're going to have to help me. So.
Cheating is allowed on this game show.
Good, okay.
Whoa. You never told me that.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I didn't make any rules.
Okay.
I'm using the honor system.
All right.
I have no honor.
Corey Feldman.
I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was getting getting messages. Okay, how you doing, fellas? Corey Feldman, who was in The Zombie King, Bordello of Blood, The Burbs, Lost Boys, Gremlins, Stand By Me, and in 1978, he was in an 8 is Enough episode, along with our August 5th guest, Willie Ames, who celebrates a birthday today. Also, happy birthday, Willie! And we don't guess our friends' birthdays.
Right.
But happy birthday, Willie.
Happy birthday, Will. Okay.
Corey's a friend of the show, too.
He don't watch it anymore.
Oh, he gave up on us.
No, I think he's still there listening. But okay, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so Andrea, you go first. You guys go first. Corey Feldman.
Okay, ladies. Oh my God! Jeez, talk about pressure now. I got my age. I'm going with 48. Does that sound good, girls? Okay, I'm going with 48.
Okay, 48. I'll say 49.
Pikachu. I will say 46.
Oh, so close. He'll be 45.
I
got
You rolled by 5s last week, too.
Yeah. Wow.
So close.
A baby. A mere baby.
Donald Sutherland is not a mere baby.
Mm-hmm.
He was in The Hunger Games, Frankenstein, the TV miniseries Salem's Lot, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and 1978's Animal House. What will Donald Sutherland be?
It's over 70, you say?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 74.
Okay. 74. I'm going to say 79.
Since it seems like I'm off by 1 this week, I'm going to say let's round up and let's add 1 and say 81.
He will be 81.
Oh!
I'm here all week.
He's technically still 79. Technically.
Yes.
Kinda, not really, but yeah.
I'm just agreeing with Andrea. She's our guest. She's
Well,
right.
his birthday it's his birthday today?
It's this week, upcoming.
Well,
So
he's still 79 until his birthday.
No, he'd be 80 till.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, still 79 till his birthday. Then he'll be 80.
Oh, he'd be 81.
Oh, he's 81?
He'd be 81.
Right.
Well, what the heck am I thinking? Okay, never mind. The ladies just told me where I'm going wrong. Okay.
You guys are in ghost mode. Come on, you're in ghost mode.
I'm more.
So we got John Glenn.
Who?
Wasn't in any scary movie,
Astronaut. Oh, duh.
but deserves a celebrity birthday.
Yeah.
He was a colonel in the Marines.
Yeah.
He was one of the Mercury 7 group of pilots picked by NASA to become America's first astronauts and became a U.S. Senator. How old will John Glenn be next week?
Wait. Okay, so he had to be at least nearing 30. So 30, so say 30 minus 60 would be, I'm going to say he's going to be 83.
83. Okay, I'm going to say 86.
Okay, one of the
I'm gonna say
ladies here
86.
says 90.
Oh. Okay, so we have an
Siri,
86.
how old will John Glenn be? No.
No, just shake Jimmy's head.
90.
Ah,
I'm going to go with 90.
well, I'm shaking my head and my eyeball says 95.
Oh.
95! Oh, holy Hannah.
I'm going to change my answer to 95.
Wow.
You learned
Have
something
we got
every
any
week
right
here
yet?
at
Neither have I.
And I'm dropping the hostage to the Devil Lake page in the chat. One more. Brian Austin Green, who was in The Twilight Zone, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The Canterville Ghost, and played David Silver from 1990 to 2000 in Beverly Hills 90210, along with Jennifer Jigglypuff Runyon.
Hey,
Hey.
yes. I should know this, right? But I don't.
I think I know this. I think he's a few years older than me. I'm going with 43.
Okay, 43. I'm going to agree with Andrea. I'm going to agree with Andrea. 43.
I'm going to say 44. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Of course. Like the Price is Right. $1.
The limb snapped. It'll be 43.
Woo!
Yeah! We got one right!
Girls roll.
Andrea, how many people are with you right now?
Oh, I have two lovely ladies with me right now.
Are you in a place where you could yell or no?
And my name, yeah, we're here. We're all alone. So, well, not all alone, but I don't think they mind yelling.
All right, give them a scream for us then. Tell them to give us a good
What?
scream. Tell them to give us a good scream.
Okay, give us the best scream. That was just them two, not me.
All right. Andrew, we caught you on a
I
weird
don't
night.
scream.
Oh my.
Because you're doing a tour tonight. Hello?
Hello?
We're all still here. I'm waiting for you guys.
Okay. You're doing a tour tonight. Where are you and what's going on there?
We are at the Wakefield Historic Museum in Wakefield, Michigan. Really lovely historical place that used to be a hospital, and then doctor's offices, then a law office, and then a museum. And they've been seeing a lot of different people, a lot of shadow people. They've also seen apparitions of an older man with a long beard who can just walk through walls, and a younger man who looked like he might have been a miner or worked in the lumber field.
Oh.
So we're here trying to communicate with them.
Is that your first time there?
Oh, heck no. I've been here so many times and had so many experiences. It's a wonderful place. I mean, I have been kind of doing investigations here for over a year, and we've been doing ghost tours now for, I think, about, 6 weeks now.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, we're enjoying it.
That's awesome.
And what kind of experiences did you have there before?
Recently? Oh, boy. Okay. One good story that I was just telling the ladies here, it was from a couple investigations back, and this was so funny. And I love it when people get scared. I mean, I know I shouldn't laugh, but I laugh so hard. There was a young 15-year-old girl who came with her mother, and she was kind of scared from the get-go, so she'd sit in her mom's lap. And her mom would hold her around the arm so that, she would just, try to be a little brave. And as we were trying to talk to the spirits, she all of a sudden felt something crawling up her leg, almost like a hand kind of like tapping her, and then she felt a sharp poke in her hip. She flew off that chair, literally knocking her poor mother off the chair with her. And as that happened, a piece of equipment lit up really bright, and then 3 other people that were with us saw my audio recorder slide across the table on its own about 3 or 4 inches. That little girl went home so fast. She nearly fainted. We had to carry her downstairs. We had to get her water to, perk her back up a little bit. And then her mom drove her home and had to come back after she dropped her off home. So yeah, that was kind of an experience. We've seen shadow people here already. And another funny experience I was telling the ladies was this one girl kept getting picked on. She'd have her shoe pulled. She had her hair tugged, and she was starting to get a little creeped out, and she kept saying, don't touch me anymore, don't touch me anymore. And her boyfriend was with her and thought it was hilarious until he had his hair pulled. All of a sudden, it wasn't funny anymore. and right now, actually, I keep hearing things behind us. There's something moving around behind us as we speak.
Oh, my God.
Does anybody want to say hi back there?
That always happens.
Yeah. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah, that always.
I can hear you.
That always happens with
You
Jimmy.
guys can hear, right? Yeah. Yeah, I keep thinking that's something
all
like,
of you can
walking
hear
up the
this.
hallway. Like, okay, hold on. I'm going to take you guys. I'm going to go just do a quick observation here because there's something definitely walking around. So go ahead and just talk and ask me questions as I am looking to make sure there is no bats or anything, at least. Nope, there's nothing else here. And we are locked in, so there's no chance that anybody could come in when we're not looking. So,
holy mackerel.
Interesting, ladies.
Wow.
So, you guys heard that, right? Oh, I stubbed my toe. That hurt. Okay.
You were a skeptic fairly recently. What happened that changed your mind?
Well, I wouldn't say fairly recently. I mean, I was a skeptic pretty much all my life until 12 years ago. My brother and his fiancée, this is a great story for you guys too, so just sit back. My brother and his fiancée were really big into the paranormal because, his now wife, then fiancée, had a lot of paranormal experiences where she used to live. And they'd go on these ghost tours, like they take trips with their friends to, like, Gettysburg was one place that they really loved going. And they always have this thing where they like to bring back a souvenir, but they don't want those, like, cheap little gift shop souvenirs where, they're just like statues or like little meaningless things. They want something that has meaning. And one thing that had a really strong meaning, especially to my now sister-in-law, there was, they'd be on the battlefield, and they'd, pick up a little pebble from the battlefield and say, wow, somebody walked here, somebody may have died here. This is such a strong, powerful, emotional thing. And they take it home with them as their souvenir, just a little pebble. And one day, my brother, John and Andy, and then my other brother's wife now, Jamie, were at this thing called Bastille Days. It's a little festival in Milwaukee when we used to live in Wisconsin. And I stayed home because I just didn't feel like going. And this was like about 40 minutes away from my house. Well, as I'm watching TV upstairs in my bedroom, I hear somebody walk through the kitchen with really heavy boots. And my brothers are police officers, retired now, but at the time they were still active. And it sounded like they're the boots that they wear to work. And it walked right through the kitchen, past my staircase, and I heard my brother's door open and close. So I ran downstairs because I wanted to see how Bastille Days was. And the light on my brother's room was on, and I know it was off because I had to turn it off myself. My mother is one of those old school, if you're not using it, it's not supposed to be on kind of people because, that's money being wasted. So when my brother left it on, I turned it off myself. And so I thought he was in there, and I was going to get ready to knock on the door, but the door opened all by itself. And when I looked in, there was nobody in there. So I thought, well, okay, that's fine. Maybe he went to say goodnight to my brother because my brothers have this weird habit of waking my mom up in order to say goodnight. So I went to her bedroom to see, and she was still watching TV, and she said, oh, who came home? Was it John or Andy? And I said, nobody came in to say hi to you? And she said, no. I said, there's nobody here. And immediately I said, well, let me just call. Maybe they came in, grabbed something, and left. So when I called my brother's cell phone, I could hear both of my brothers still at Bastille Days, which is 45 minutes away. So now, of course, my mind doesn't go to paranormal. My mind goes to, oh, crap, someone broke in my house. So my mom and I grab butcher knives, and we stick a knife in the basement door so that if someone snuck down, they can't get back up. And I do like a house search, and I'm trying to act like Dirty Harry, saying, if anybody's here, I got a knife, and I know how to use it. I can throw distances. And I'm looking under beds, and I'm looking in closets, and there's just nobody there. The doors are all locked. The windows are all locked. I could throw distances. I could toss it and hit you right in the heart if I had to. We're sitting here like, and my mom heard it too. And so we're freaking out. So we call my brothers and we tell them, I think somebody had to have broken into the house. I mean, I know nothing's unlocked, but somebody was in here. And so my brothers rushed home, and it had been raining a little bit, so you could see when they walked around the perimeter of the house when they were leaving footprints in the mud, but their footprints were the only footprints being left. And then after that, it was just paranormal activity. I'd hear people saying my name when I was the only one in the house. There was an instance where I was looking for batteries for the remote control to my TV because we're not cavemen. We don't live in the day and age where you have to walk and do it manually. I'm not about to do that. I want my batteries so I have my clicker. Well, I couldn't find them, and I just bought them, and I was really mad, and I was talking to a friend. I was sitting on my bed, and we were just 20 minutes into the conversation on the phone when my closet door kind of opened. And from the very back, leaning up against the wall where there was no way it could have tipped out, a box shot, and it flew 8 feet. The only thing that stopped its momentum was hitting my bed. And when it spilled out, there were batteries everywhere. And unfortunately, at that time, my grandmother passed away January of 2005. And then just a few months later, my dad passed away. And so it was a really tough time for us. In fact, we lost 7 members of our family in less than a year.
Oh.
And yeah, a month after my dad passed away, my mom and I bought our very first digital voicemail machine with for the landline phones. And we used to have the little tiny tapes, and we kept getting sick of how they would always just get screwed up. So we thought, come into the new age and get the digital. And our very first voice, it was blinking red, and we were so excited because we finally got our first voice message. And we went to play it, and it was just white noise. And, of course, the first thought is butt dial. That was back when the phones butt dialed all the time. And we'd hear my brothers saying really stupid things with their friends that we could laugh at them afterwards for. So we were listening to this white noise, thinking that maybe we'd hear my brothers' voices. But instead, we heard a different voice. And I immediately called my brothers. I made my brother come home from work. He was on duty. And I said, get off, just come home on a break. Just come home now. You got to hear this. And we all heard the same thing without telling each other what it was. We said, we did this 1, 2, 3, and, say it at the same time. And we all said, that's Dad. And it was my dad's voice very clearly saying, I love you. And then there was another male voice that said, look, there's the light, let's. And then the message ended. And we think that the spirit that came with my brother, we think it came from Gettysburg, because the heavy boot sound, the sound of heavy boots, could also be like the kind of boots that they would have worn on the battlefield. And we think that maybe they knew my dad was terminal. I mean, we always knew my dad was, he had very terminal cancer. It was incurable. It was just a matter of once it came back, how long he had. And I think the spirit knew my dad wasn't long for this world. And either he thought, I'll stay with him and then I'll cross over with him to make it easier for him, or he must have known my dad was a very religious man, and maybe he didn't know how to cross over but knew my dad would. And so he stayed and waited for my dad so he could cross over with my dad. Aww. And then that night, my brother Andy received a message from somebody with the same name as my dad, which is, he thought it was my brother because my brother and my dad share the same name. And it said, the lightning is beautiful up here. And my brother didn't understand what he meant because, it was a beautiful, gorgeous day. So he called my brother and asked what he meant. And my brother said, well, that's not me. I'm on the road. I just finished pulling someone over, and I'm writing up the ticket right now, so I really can't talk anyway. And my brother said, well, who texted me? I mean, this is your name. I mean, this. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, my God, Dad. And he ran back to take a picture of it, and the picture was, the message was gone. And that was the last time we ever heard from my dad.
We're break time. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of. Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back with more Haunted Chronicles. We're talking to Andrea Mesich. Thank you.
That's me.
Welcome back to the Haunted Chronicles, home of your halftime, guaranteed halftime, whatever shout out. Thank you to the groups that shared our event page this week: Electric City Paranormal, Ghosts and All Things Paranormal, Greater Texas Paranormal Society, Independent Paranormal Research Circle, the Demon Files crew, Interviews from Beyond, On the Fringe with Art Bell and Heather Wade, Big Bear Ghost Seekers, Edge of Fear, Realm of the Unknown, Paranormal Planet, Best Paranormal Radio and Podcast, and Appalachian UFO Research Society. And shout outs to people in the chat today. Brock, Dave, Indy, Dwayne, Sprinkles, Tiffany, Lisa M, Randy, Tony, Belinda, Cheryl, Maggie, Renee, Debbie, Jane Doe, Mark, Doug, Kara E, Dead Dude Chad, Desi, Brian H, Ace Cat, BN Hank, and Corey, Frankie, and Junebug. Thank you. We're back.
Hello.
We're live.
Hi.
Here we are.
You know what's really sad is I'm a guest and I forgot to share at the event.
And thank you to Andrea.
But you know what? I have an excuse. Like I said, we had the tornado, and I've been caring for an injured squirrel, so my mind's been elsewhere. So I have an excuse.
I was going to ask you about that because we had similar weeks. How was your little squirrel? Yeah. I had a little raccoon.
You know, my little squirrel is doing really good now. She's drinking on her own. She's eating on her own. She's trying to use her back legs. She's going to be going to a wildlife rehab expert on Sunday, and so I'm going to miss her, but when she's ready for release, I'm going to be taking her back and releasing her in my yard.
Wow, we're doing the same exact thing with a little baby raccoon named Davy Crockett.
Aww. Aww. Yeah, I named mine Bernadette Therese, after Saint Therese of Lisieux and Bernadette, Saint Bernadette from Lourdes. I thought, you know, with as bad as she was, it never hurts to name them after saints because you never know. Maybe that'll be a miracle for that poor little thing.
And I named mine after a hat. Good. So, Andrea, we only do an hour show.
Yes.
If we want to hear more, Andrea, you'll be appearing on a program next week. Can you tell us what day?
Yes, I will.
Go for it.
What was the question? All I heard was who? I'm actually going to be appearing on Coast to Coast with George Nuri.
Okay.
And I'm going to be on the second half of the show, but if you can't stay up that late, then they do have the podcast usually within 24 hours if you're a subscribed member.
Okay. And do you know what time that starts, the second half?
Let's see. Central Time, it would be 2 a.m., Eastern Time, 3 a.m., and then Pacific Time, 2, 1, midnight. I had to count backwards. Yeah, so midnight, 2 a.m., or 3 a.m. And I'll be on for 2 hours. And we're going to have lots of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about women in the paranormal. We're going to be talking about science in the paranormal. And you know, we're just going to have a lot of fun talking about like The Conjuring and how it always brings up are the Warrens frauds and are the people who experienced these things that the Warrens helped frauds, and we're going to go into a lot of that. So it's going to be a really interesting show. Tune in.
And we were talking about your incident back in 2004, but can you tell us, you have a book, Ghost in the Coal Cellar.
Mm-hmm.
How can people find that? Can you tell us some stories from there? Please.
Well, you can find it anywhere on Amazon.com, at your local bookstore. I always say support your local bookstores first. You know, local businesses, they can order it if they don't have it on the shelves. But if it's easier online, it's on bn.com, which is Barnes & Noble's website, and Amazon. There's actually quite a number. We talk about this mysterious light. Like a lot of people heard about the Morpho lights. But one light that is very popular thanks to a show called Fact or Faked Paranormal Files, we have a light called the Paulding lights. And it's a very mysterious light that everyone thinks they have answers for, but really don't. And I decided to go and spend some time investigating it and doing a lot of legwork on that. And I made that part of my life for many years. And I talk about my findings. I talk about the different experiences. I talk about experiences people had, their beliefs, their opinions. I've even gave some room for the skeptics, because skeptics always say the paranormal people never listen to us. They don't care what we say. They just, you know, poo-poo us. And I said, no, I want to hear what you say, and I want to, you know, kind of, you know, find out your reasonings, and I'm going to explore those. And so I have those in there as well. But one of my favorite stories in that book right now, it's actually based on the title of the book, The Coal Cellar. And that was at the First Ward Schoolhouse in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. And there was a lot of stuff that happened there. Full body apparition of a child, which was, you know, really unique because that was my first full body apparition. And, you know, we had some people that were scratched. I was choked and in the actual location in the Coal Cellar. I actually got choked there. Had a lot of really great EVPs. It was a great time. Wonderful people that I met there, like Ben Hansen from Fact or Faked, Justin Libbigs, who actually owns the location, and Heather Bram. Just wonderful people. So,
And
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I talk a lot, so just interrupt me.
All right. You were talking about the Paulding lights, and now could you tell people where those are and what the theory is behind them, or what some
Well, the
theories
Paulding
are?
lights is in Paulding, Michigan. It's actually near Watersmeet, Michigan. Great casino there. If you ever want to come visit, they got a casino. You got to experience the UPA. You got to go to a casino. You got to get some beer. Get yourself the Stormy Cromer. Oh, yeah, I hate her. And but no, it's in Paulding, Michigan, right adjacent to Watersmeet, Michigan. And there are many theories. I mean, the skeptic's theory is that all you're seeing are car lights. One theory, of course, is airplanes. Somebody had theorized UFOs. And then, of course, there's the proverbial ghost story. And there are two of those theories that I find to be true together at the same time. And should I spoil it for you?
Yes. Spoil it.
Okay. Why not? First theory is that, yes, there are cars out there. I took a high-powered telescope, and I was able to actually, at night and during the day, see the headlights of cars, see all the lights and the fancy doodads of the big rigs that were going down the highway. So I was able to confirm there are cars there. But when I was there investigating on one night, I had a green ball of light standing on my foot. Just standing there, and it was emitting its own light, on the ground and on my boot. It was winter, so with the swamp gas theory, like a lot of people say swamp gases, that's always their favorite thing when you see a mysterious light is swamp gas. Well, it's frozen under a layer of ice, 10 feet of snow, a layer of ice, 12 feet of snow, so there's no way there's going to be swamp gases. It's just not conducive for that time of the year for that to happen. It wasn't ball lightning, because if it was ball lightning when it disappeared, I would have lost my foot, because when ball lightning explodes, it will take out whatever's near it. So that was an experience that I had that I can't explain. We had balls of lights that would come out of the woods in broad daylight and just float right in front of everybody that was watching and then take off into the other side of the woods. We had lights that would turn colors, go up in the sky, come down from the sky. So I really believe there is something paranormal happening there. People who think that the lights they see the lights and they think they're the Paulding lights, but they are car lights. However, the Paulding lights are real, and I do believe it is paranormal.
Wow.
I do remember one of the first Ghost Hunters episodes, like where they said that they saw lights in the house at certain times. So like a car went towards the house. They go, there it is. That's it. Like, that's the answer. Like, doesn't always have to be car lights.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? And like I said, to the credit of those that say it is car lights, they are right. There are car lights out there, 100%. But if that light on my foot was a car light, I would be walking around with a prosthetic right now, because that car would have been right on top of my foot. I mean, you can't explain that as a car light. For one thing, it was green, and I don't know many cars that have green lights on them that bright. And again, if it's standing right on top of my foot, I think I would see a car on top of my foot. So there are different phenomenon going. And then there was another thing that I forgot is one day in the snow when my brother and I were doing an investigation there, we actually saw a footprint forming in front of us in the freshly fallen snow. It literally, you could see the imprint, and it was not of a shoed foot. It was of you could see like the little toes. And it actually, there was like one step, and then there was another imprint, and then it just disappeared into nothing. Like whatever was there, it took 2 steps, and then it was gone. So there definitely is something paranormal going on at the Paulding lights. We just haven't really decided what it is, but I can tell you that I did get what sounded like Native American chanting, Native American music kind of a sound on one of the EVPs during the investigation.
Wow. Very, very.
Wow.
And
it's cool. It's a great place.
I had a funny story I heard a funny story that you told on another program, and I hope you remember it, because most of us that are listening and most of us that all of us that are talking here have investigated haunted places, and you have a funny story that we could all relate to about. If I could lead you up to it, you were reviewing evidence for a real long time, and then realized maybe that wasn't it was the same kind of screen like for a long time. You're looking for shadows and things going by. How draining it is to watch the evidence.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, God, I have a lot of funny stories about that. Like, you sit here, especially when you're doing it alone. I'm called the Paranormal Ronin. And Ronin in Japanese means masterless samurai. And I call myself a groupless investigator because it frees me up to travel the country, because I do a lot with demonology. I help priests across the country with cleansings and investigating demonic spirits and potential demonic hauntings or possessions, and I help them gather the evidence needed to go to, like, if there's a possession and there's an exorcism needed, they have to get permission from the bishop, and I'll help them collect the information that they need. But yeah, when you're doing it alone and you're going through hours and hours and hours of audio, and you're listening to people farting, and you're listening to their stomachs gurgling, and trust me, there's a lot of farting and there's a lot of gurgling. And I just remember this one time I was so tired because I had been reviewing it for hours, and I realized that I had the wrong tape in, and I was actually listening to, I don't even know what I was listening to at that point, but it turned out it wasn't even from the investigation I was doing, and I had sat there for over an hour listening to it, and it had nothing to do with what I was just like, oh my God, I wasted an hour of my time. And that happens quite a lot. Or I'll sit there and I'll watch a video, and I'll watch the same clip over and over and over before I realize that the clip is frozen and I don't even have it on play. And then I'm just sitting there staring at a paused screen for an hour, and I'm like, oops. And you have to press. It's a tedious job, and it's not for everybody, which is why I always caution people who want to be investigators.
Wow. You said that, and I remember everyone thinks the investigation part is so much fun, and then it's the hours and hours of reviewing all your tapes and videos and audio.
Yeah, it's really sad, though, when you're sitting for an hour staring at a screen that's not moving because you had it on pause, not realizing it's on pause for that whole entire hour. That's very disheartening when you realize that at 2:00 in the morning.
That's advanced research right there.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I think we have time. Do you have another story from the Coal Cellar? From Ghost?
Okay, I could do a really quick story from the Coal Cellar. Let's bring down the mood a little bit. Let's turn on like a little sad music. Okay. There was a little girl who had an imaginary friend, according to the parents. She was a little young to have an imaginary friend. Usually imaginations in children, unless they're, very intelligent, tend to form around the age of 3.5, 4 years old. And this little girl started when she was around 2.5, 3. And she'd have these conversations in baby talk with this rocking chair that they had gotten as a gift from their in-laws when they had moved into this one house. And it was a very beautiful antique rocking chair, handmade, just gorgeous. And all of a sudden, after they noticed their daughter picking up these conversations, the mother noticed that the rocking chair would move on its own. And no matter where they put it, it would move on its own, even if it was on carpet. Like, if you rock something on carpet, you have to keep the momentum going, because if you get off, it'll stop rocking after so often because the carpet kind of pads it a little bit. She moved it away from different places thinking, well, it could be a draft or whatnot. And finally they realized that there was something, going on there. And then they would come in, they had a baby, and then the baby would be crying, and they would want to go to the baby's room to see how the baby was doing. And then the baby would just be staring up into nothingness, and all of a sudden they could see its little mobile shaking above him. And he was just cooing at this mobile, and the mobile's not, it doesn't, you can't twist it. It doesn't spin around. It's just a thing that hangs above, and it was moving on its own. So finally they called me in. And on my investigation, I found it was really kind of sad. There was a man who built the rocking chair for his wife, and his wife died very suddenly, and that was the love of his life. I mean, the kid said that he grieved so hard after she died that I think he died of a broken heart. And he was very attached to that rocking chair because it was the very last thing that he had of his wife. And when it was brought to the house, he became attached to the little children because he really loved kids. He loved his grandkids too. And so he was taking care of the little children, because I remember getting an EVP where when we were talking about the child, he scolded the father, saying that the father pushes the little girl too high on the swings and she's going to get hurt. And he was very concerned about the little girl getting hurt. So finally they sat down with the spirit and they said, we appreciate you watching over us. We thank you for being friends with our children, but you know your wife misses you and she's waiting on the other side for you. I mean, you don't have to be scared to cross over because she's there. You love her so much. The rocking chair's not her. She's her and she's there. Go to her. And, you know, you have her blessing. Go to her. And the activity ceased after that.
Oh, my God.
And I just thought it was a very beautiful story because he was so passionate about his wife and he loved her so much and he just loved those little children he was taking care of. Like when the baby would cry, he was the one in the room before the parents. When the little girl was lonely, he'd be the one talking to her and having conversations with her and watching out for her when the father was being a little too rough. And you getting that feeling again? Yeah, like that kind of like something tickling you?
No,
Like
electricity.
Like an electricity kind of going through you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I kind of felt it a little bit too, like going up my arm just now. Sorry, we're having a little paranormal experience here as I'm finishing the story.
Yeah, if you get
that's cool.
any interesting stuff tonight, come back, or at the beginning of the show next week, and we'll put it on.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We got 2.5 minutes.
I think
left
we're going to have an interesting night, especially when it gets dark.
I hope so. Andrea's going to be on Coast to Coast Monday night on the second half, and you could find that website at coasttocoast.com. And next week, we have an encore show, and because we're redecorating the Haunted Chronicles studios for Halloween. And in July 29th, the show is going to be called, working title, In Living Color, and that's going to be a surprise. And then on August 5th, we have Willie Ames returning back to Haunted Chronicles Studios.
I like them.
How do you like them apples? So, Andrea, how can people find you on the web, on Facebook, or any web pages or anything?
Okay, well, like I said, I call myself the Paranormal Ronin. So Ronin is spelled R-O-N-I-N. So you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Paranormal Ronin, R-O-N-I-N, or you can find me at paranormalronin.blogspot.com.
Very good.
I gotcha. Paranormal Robin trying to blow up your spot here.
It's a wonderful spot that I maintain myself so professionally. Yeah, the temperature just dropped, like all of a sudden it just tanked.
Yeah.
Like as I'm telling that story, it tanked.
Except the shivers.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Lots of experiences here just now. You guys should be here. You guys shouldn't be over there on the radio. You should be here right now, Wakefield, Michigan.
That would be amazing.
We're going to be having more tours in October, including a tour that was just given permission for Halloween. So we will be here on Halloween.
All right, I found your page, and you did promote tonight's show.
Did I?
Yeah, so you don't have to sleep tonight.
Oh, okay. See, that's how much I know. You know what? I'm so focused on the paranormal and my squirrel that my mind just isn't working right now. So.
Anyone wants anything you could take from this show tonight, focus on the paranormal and the squirrel. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I hope I was entertaining enough for all your listeners.
Very entertaining. Thank you very much, Andrea and company. Good night.
Well, thank you so much.
Good night,
Thanks,
Andrea, Brock, Jen, Dave.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
You're clear.